Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another video lesson for the subject Empowerment Technology. And today, our discussion is all about imaging and design for online environment. All right. Okay, so our content standards for this lesson is for the learners to be able to demonstrate, or you will be demonstrating an understanding of how to manipulate text, graphics, and images to create ICT content intended for an online environment. And our performance standard, so at the end of this lesson, the learners shall be able to independently apply the techniques of image manipulation and graphic design to create original or derivative ICT content from existing images, text, and graphic elements for use in specific professional tracks. And our most essential learning competencies for today is evaluate existing websites and online resources based on the principles of layout, graphics, and visual message design. Use image manipulation techniques on existing images to change or enhance their current state to communicate a message for a specific purpose, and create an original or derivative ICT content to effectively communicate a visual message in an online environment related to specific professional tracks. Okay, so we learned that the three most commonly used Microsoft Office Suite applications are Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint from the previous lesson, of course. Now, in this lesson, we will discover that graphic design plays a significant role in the world today. So, this module or this video lesson is all about imaging and design for the online environment, from basic graphics and layout principles to infographics. Let's have our specific objectives. So at the end of this video lesson, you will be able to understand the basic principles of graphics and layouts, understand and use several file formats used on the web, create a simple infographic using web tools. By the way, yung ating yung part 1 po ng ating pong lesson 4 is we had talk about how to create an e-portfolio or website using Google Sites. So, at the end also ng ating session nga ito, ay you will be having a task or performance task to create your own website using Google Site. So, it does not require na dapat kayo ay mahusay sa pag-programming o web programming. Hindi po ganun. Okay, so for sure, nakita nyo naman kung ano yung ginawa natin sa Google Sites. And at the end also, easily manipulate images using a simple image editor, upload and share images. Now, trivia. What is the most visited website in the world? Did you know that the most visited website in the world are ito? Sobrang dami nila. Pero at the top list, ang top 3 natin is third place lang si Facebook. Second is YouTube. And then the first is Google. Clear ko lang, sa buong mundo po ito. Okay? So what is the most popular website in every country? Sa bawat bansa. Look at this. Talagang sinaturate ng Google ang halos malaking bahagi ng Earth. And yung mga ibang bansa such as yung China has their own browsers, website, such as Baidu, and same thing with other countries like Russia. Now, what is the most popular keyword based on research, o yung kapag ka nagsisearch tayo, yung mga phrase na inalalagay natin sa search engine? And the answer is this one. So this image tells about face, right? So the most popular keyword actually is Facebook. Facebook po ang most popular keyword. And the second, I think, was YouTube, and then Google. Pabaliktad naman sila sa popular keyword. Now, let's talk about the principles of graphics and layout. So, of course, pagka pinag-aralan natin to, these are the things that you need to consider when creating a web page. Pero ano po ba ibig sabihin nito? So, the elements and basic and principles of design rather are the building blocks of a successful and beautiful design. Hindi porket makulay, hindi porket maraming mga shapes, hindi porket ganito, ganyan, ay maganda na. So, as long as you have the principles of design and the elements are for sure will help us to create a beautiful and a very successful design. So the design elements are the things or tools that make up a design, while the principles of design are what we do those elements. So pag sinabi nating elements, ito yung mga madalas nating mga objects na nakikita sa isang design. Okay? So anyway, what is a layout? Okay, layout is the process of planning and arranging graphics or text on a page or book. So a good layout should have a balance, makeup, and alignment of elements. So layout, it's like a blueprint. Kaya siya tinawag nga ng layout. So plano pa lang siya ng gagawin mong design kung saan mo ipopwesto, for example, yung image na ito, yung mga text, yung mga subheading, mga ganyan. So, mayroong layout na tinatawag, the planning, process of planning and arranging the graphics or any elements ng design. And the elements of design are the materials or tools to make different design or arts. So, meron tayong 6 elements of design. We have the line, shape, direction, size, texture, and color. So, let's define each. So, of course, alam nyo naman ng line kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng line. So, lines are defined by points moving in space. So, from one point into another, nakikreate siya ng line. So, it can create a sense of movement or direction in your design. So, the line can be smooth, rough, straight, curved, broken, thick, or thin. It depends po sa inyo, sa designer. Okay, and of course we have the shape. So a shape is an enclosed space, the boundaries of which are defined by other elements of art like lines, colors, values, or textures. Shapes can be used to create patterns and draw the viewer's attention. While direction naman, when we say direction, it is the applying motion to create the visual illusion of movement. So use horizontal direction for calmness, stability, and tranquility, while vertical direction naman for emotions of balance, formality, and alertness. And the fourth element is called size. Sometimes it is called scale. So the size is the relationship of the area occupied by one shape to another. So large elements are more significant than the small one. And we have the texture for the fifth element, which refers to an object's surface appearance given by the dimensions, form, thickness, arrangement, and amount of its essential parts. Now, the color, which is the sixth, color is light redirected off objects. It is used to create curiosity and emotions in the viewers. It has three main characteristics. The technical term is HUE. These are red, green, and blue. And then we have the value, which refers to the lightness and darkness. And then the intensity, or called saturation, or the amount of pigment, and as well as temperature, which refers to the warmness and coldness. Now, what are the principles of designs that you have to consider when creating a web page or a graphics? First, of course, the balance. When we say balance, hindi siya masyadong mabigat sa kaliwa, hindi siya masyadong mabigat sa kanan, upper or low, lower part of the canvas. balance po yung pagkaka-distribute sa lahat ng objects. So the distribution of the visual weight of objects, colors, textures, and space. If the design was a scale, these elements should be balanced to make a design feel stable. And when we say balance, it can be classified into three classification, or into three rather. So we have the symmetrical balance. As you can see in the design, in this illustration, it is pag sinabing symmetrical, equal talaga siya, equally divided. Like kung makikita ninyo, the elements used on one side of the design are similar to those on the other side. And kung titignan natin din yung example ng image like that, the paradox loves, we love building clean. The use of colors are balanced. So black, blue, and then we there have the lines. And of course, yung balance din sa paggamit mo ng colors. Like that, it's like an alternate black, blue, black, blue, black, blue. So that is what we call symmetrical balance. We also have asymmetrical balance. Hindi sila equally divided, pero it looks balanced pa din. Okay? So the sides are different, but still look balanced. So look at this example. At this example, they have the emphasis on the text, talagang bold yung pagkakasulat, and hindi rin naman pantay yung design ng ano niya, yung total design. Pero look at the distribution of the objects. We have the three icons on the left and then three icons on the right with their corresponding labels. So that is what we call asymmetrical balance. We also have radial balance. So the elements are arranged around a central point and may be similar. So hindi naman na kailangang explain. As you can see in the image, it is central, or I mean round. So it forms a circle, and then parang yung amount ng mga objects from left to right or paikot ay balance. Okay? So that is radial balance. Now we also have the emphasis, nabanggit ko rin kanina. So the emphasis is the part of the design that catches the viewer's attention. So with the presence of emphasis, nakikita agad ng viewers kung ano yung gusto mong iparating. So usually the artist will make one area stand out by contrasting it with the other areas. So when we say contrasting, it's like yung background mo ay dark, so dapat ang ating pong object or main object must be light, or vice versa. The area could be different in size, color, texture, and shapes. So look at how the designer used red, and then how the designer used the text, its size. So emphasis yung meron emphasis dun sa text, and then with the use of the color red, it signifies the whatever has been posted on the label. So war destroys children's lives, right? So total package, that is emphasis. Movement. How about movement? So the path the viewer's eye takes through the work of an art, often to focal areas. Such movement can be directed along lines, edges, shapes, and color within the work. So yung pag-create ng mga ganitong klaseng layout ay nagbibigay din ng excitement sa mga viewers to see how flexible yung ating pong design or yung ating pong yung intention. I mean the message, something like that. Kung titignan nyo to yung lines po na ginamit dito, itong this one is talagang nagbibigay ng different things from this larger picture, which is, I think, gives an emphasis dun sa total image, and then this one, the lines. So aside from this, meron pa silang other things to offer, something like that. So that is the movement. Now we have the pattern, repetition, and rhythm. So the repeating of an object or symbol all over the work of art. Kaya minsan makikita nyo sa mga books, di ba? Consistent yung pagkakasulat yung pagkakalagay ng mga titles, and also yung page numbers. Minsan may mga design pa sila sa ilalim or sa taas na consistent sila. That is the pattern, repetition, and rhythm. Na somehow it gives an identity dun sa graphics or sa design. Na kapag natandaan yun at napapansin lagi ng viewers, ay ano to galing to sa ganitong design ay kay ano to. So that's the good thing about it. Look at Facebook and YouTube, 'di ba consistent sila sa kanilang color na blue and where they place yung tinatawag nilang logos, yung logo nila. And then the like, comment, so consistent. No, kaya kapag nakita nila ang isang post, they see the pattern there. Right? So repetition works with pattern to make the work of art seem active. The repetition of elements of design creates unity within the work of art. Now, so look at this image. Repetition, it does not mean na hagdanan na. So, yung design. And look at here. Look at here, the website na nandito on how they use this element. This principle. So rhythm is created when one or more elements of design are used to repeatedly to create a feeling of organized movement. So kapag may ganitong klaseng principle, nagiging organized yung ating pong graphics. And then rhythm creates a mood like music or dancing. To keep rhythm exciting and active, variety is essential. It does not mean naman na pag sinabing pattern ay ipaulit lang at iisa lang talaga ang nakikita. Pero somehow, the pattern creates an organized feeling for the viewers. Organize yung website na to, maayos, maganda. Mamaya sa activity natin, mamaya makikita ninyo yung some of the website na talaga kailangan nyo siyang i-evaluate because I think may mga lacking of principles silang na hindi na i-apply. We also have proportion. Pag super namin proportion ay akma siya o swak siya doon sa canvas. Diba? So the feeling of unity created when all parts such as the sizes, amounts, or number relate well with each other. So when drawing the human figure proportion can refer to the size of the head compared to the rest of the body. So that is proportion. Kumbaga, yung canvas mo as well as your main object na iyong ipoportray or ilalagay doon sa iyong canvas ay dapat swak sa isa't isa. So, halimbawa ako, pinicturean ako at nasa video ninyo ako at hindi kita yung ulo ko. So, hindi siya proportion. Right? So, kailangan as much as possible and it's a must na dapat ganun po yung ating pong mga design. So hindi nagsasuffer yung other sides. Now, variety, when you say the variety, it does not mean na iba-iba ang nakikita kasi pag masyado namang variety naman yung ang objects at hindi swak ang mga color combinations, the patterns, magiging magulo lang po siya. Now, the use of several elements of design to hold the viewer's attention and to guide the viewer's eye through and around the work of art. So, that is variety. And when we say variety, kahit na siya ay maraming elements o maraming siyang objects na nandoon, meron pa rin sense of unity. Okay? The feeling of harmony between all parts of the work of art which creates a sense of completeness. And as you can see in this example, ayan, makikita ninyo sa YouTube, di ba, when you click the videos or if you have the account and then pag tinignan mo yung mga old videos or yung mga history ng iyong mga napanood sa YouTube, napapansin mo na organized pa din, various yung nakikita, pero hindi sila magulo. Uniting pa din yung objects na nandoon sa atin pong website. So that is variety. So we're done with the principles of graphics and layout. So now we are going to proceed with infographics. So before, kapag ka nagpe-present tayo ng information, like for example, sa isang research, 'di ba? Hindi naman lahat ng tao kayang magbasa ng ganun kahabang research na ilang pages 'yun, tas puro sulat lang. Pero as time goes by, nagkaroon ng mga other ways of presentation ng mga information at tinatawag siya ngayong information graphics because it used to represent information, statistical data or knowledge in a graphical manner. Ayan. So as you can see in this small image below, ay magbibigay siya ng information through graphics. And at the end of this, you are going to create your infographics depending on the activity na gagawin po natin. So, abangan po yung susunod po ng video po natin para po dyan. Now, online image file formats. So, ito na-discuss natin to nung nakaraan. So, again, JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. GIF is Graphical Interchange Format, and then PNG is Portable Network Group. So, JPEG is the normal or default output or file formats of images coming from our cameras today. And then GIF naman, these are can handle moving pictures, pero the difference nilang dalawa, si JPEG can handle 16.7 millions of colors, si GIF can only handle 256 colors. PNG naman is mostly used for lossless compression, and then si PNG I can handle also 16.7 million of colors, and ginagamit natin siya normally sa mga medyo mas malalaking mga output. Okay? Pero merong mga mas malalaking output pa. Paano sir kapag halimbawa ay tarpaulin? Tarpaulin. So meron file formats na ginagamit para sa mga ganon. At tinatawag itong .tiff. But it depends on the size of the tarpaulin ha. Kasi yung ibang tarpaulin kaya naman ng PNG lang. Pero there are images such as yung mga kagaya ng mga billboards, 'di ba? Yung mga malalaki. Sobrang laki talaga. So ang ginagamit na doon is .tiff, which stands for Tag Image File Formats. So si TIFF naman ay when you save a file that na TIFF siya, it can handle colors up to 16.7 million also, as well as the layers that has been used during the design, pwede rin siyang ma-save into TIFF. So kahit pag halimbawa nag-save ka at kailangan mo siya ulit i-edit, so using the TIFF file and then inopen mo siya sa isang editor, magagalaw at ma-edit mo pa rin siya. Unlike kay PNG, JPEG, GIF, once published, yun na yun. As long as na-publish na siya, hindi na siya talaga pwede pang ma-manipulate on the same file. Okay? Pero kung gagamit mo lang, may separate file talaga para dun sa pang-edit. Iba-iba, kuwari, Photoshop file, tapos JPEG file. Para sa JPEG file, ano na yun, or PNG file para sa output. So, pagka e-edit, hindi si PNG file ang gagamitin si PSD file or yung Photoshop file. Now, what are the principles and basic techniques of image manipulation? So we have these three. So I have discussed the four yung file formats. So you have to choose the right file format. Knowing the purpose is the key to finding out the best format. So kapag tama yung format, hindi rin tayo mahihirapan na magpalipat-lipat ng mga or maglagay pa ng iba pang mga content sa mga graphics. Yung paggamit or reuse ng mga graphics na gagawin natin, or also, choose the right image size. It is always not wise to make the image big. Yung pagka na-publish ng image, tapos hindi pala swak dun sa size. So, igagawin natin, di ba? Kagaya sa pag nag-design tayo sa PowerPoint, ini-stretch na lang natin siya. Minsan, hindi pa balance yung pag-stretch. Kasi kapag ini-stretch natin, halimbawa, yung top lang, yung vertical lang, o kaya horizontal lang, ang nangyayari na sasuffer yung design or yung image itself. So, normally kapag dinidesign natin, normally talaga siya. Dapat talaga kapag ini-stretch natin yung image is dapat sabay yung vertical at saka horizontal. part ng image. So, doon natin siya ihatakin doon sa may bandang taas, sa may gilid. Pero, may mga image size kasi na once you stretch at na-reach niya na yung kanyang 100% na size, ang nangyayari, nagpipixelate siya. I mean, pixelize siya. Okay, so the right term kapag ka nag-suffer na yung image sa pagkaka-stretch, at ang tendency, di ba, malabo, ang tawag doon ay pixelize, hindi po pixelate. Kasi, di ba na, ay, pixelated siya. Hindi po. It should be pixelized, not pixelate. When you say pixelate, it's actually a filter option. Pagka halimbawang nag-edit ka ng isang graphics at gusto mo na magmumukha siyang pixelize o mukha siyang, hindi man yung parang na-destroy ha. Kasi yung pixelize, na-destroy yung quality ng image eh. Pero yung pixelate na options, meron pong filter options for that. Magkaiba po yun. So, the right term for that kapag ka nasisira na yung image, masyado nang malabo, it's not blur kasi si blur din po ay filter option. Kumbaga, intentional natin siyang nilalagay. Same with pixelate. Si pixelize ay unintentional. Hindi lang natin alam. Ayun, kaya hatak tayo ng hatak na image na di-destroy na pala siya. And then the third one is, you have to caption it. So remember to put a caption on images whenever possible. Putting a caption on an image creates a context or a context dun sa message. Kasi of course, everybody can interpret the message dun sa graphics. Pero having the author itself to write the caption on it, of course, maililinya yung isipan ng mga tao kung ano nga ba yung intention mo sa paggawa ng design na yon. So, you have to caption it para maiwasan din ang misinterpretation. Anyway, hindi naman talaga siya maiiwasan dahil talagang may mga tao na they interpret it according to their own opinion, not on the author's opinion. I mean, the author's mind. Okay? So those are the things that you will work with this lesson. Now, tignan naman natin po yung atin pong modules. So, this is module 4, under anong lesson 4. Okay, so you have to answer activity number 1. Actually, nasa taas. Ito yan. This one is the activity number 1. So, multiple choice. Alam nyo na ang gagawin po dyan. Okay? And then, the next activity will be, you can also read yung inyong modules for other information. Such as kagaya nito, although nabanggit ko kaganina to, mayroon tinatawag na compression. Types of compression, lossy compression, and lossless compression. So when we say lossy compression, it reduces the file size by removing redundant information, which means that some data from the image file is lost. Kaya siya lossy. It means kapag halimbawa, yung gano'n na lang, yung activity na sinabi ko kaganina, yung act of stretching the image, o anong nangyayari sa kanya naglo-loss? Yung image, the other data from the image. And then lossless compression naman, it retains value and manages to lower file size. For activity number 2, complete the table below. So you have to identify what is that JPG stands for, GIF, PNG. And identify yung compression niya kung siya ba ay lossy or lossless. And identify also kung it supports transparency by answering yes or no. And supports animation, yes or no lang din ang ilalagay po dyan. And for our activity number 4, activity number 3 rather, tumatalo na ako. Okay, so based on the given picture, ito pong Valenzuela website, so i-evaluate nyo po yan, identify the principles of design and elements of design being used. So, ayan, ilalagay po dito sa table na yan the elements of design that has been implemented in this website. So, based on your observation po dito. You could also visit www.valenzuela.gov.ph/home to explore. Okay, activity number 4, another evaluation. This one is for infographics naman. So what you can see here is an infographic. So based on the given picture below, evaluate the infographics in terms of layout and design. And what purpose are infographics all about? So you have to answer it here in a paragraph form. And then for activity number 5, ayan, nakikita nyo na, medyo ang ganda ng website. I mean, medyo ang linis ng website na ito. So according to rario.com, I don't know how to correctly pronounce this one, angren.net or arngren.net is the #1 poorly designed website in 2020. In their article, the roundup of 10 worst design websites in 2020. So as a student, as a Karuhata National High School, senior high school students, who knew the different elements of design and principles of design, what advice can you give to the creator of Angren website to make it more attractive? Ayan, so ano ang payo mo doon sa gumawa nito? Ayun po ang ibig sabihin yan. And you have to write your answer on a paragraph form. And then activity number 6, so hindi ko na-explain, it's just a true or false. And activity number 7 is identification. So you will just write E if the word of the or the given is belong to elements of design, and P naman if principle of design po siya. And for our activity number 8, synthesizing your learning. So answer the following questions based on your learning. Dapat maikli lang pero dapat malinaw. Okay, so you are tasked to create and promote your specific track strand by making an infographics. What makes a good design? Ayan. And what makes a good infographics? Ayan. So meron tayong gagawin. So you have to create an infographics, okay, about your strand. Kaya, so infographic po siya, nagagawin nyo about dun sa strand nyo. Kung ABM ka, ABM ang gagawin mo. So, ipopromote nyo po si ABM. Pero hindi po kayo magda-download ng picture sa internet po. Kayo po mismo ang magda-download, kayo po mismo ang maggagawa kung paano nyo po ipepresent in a graphical manner ang strand na napili po ninyo. Okay, so once post, i-require ko po kayo na i-post po inyo yung inyong gawa sa inyo pong mga Facebook wall, and use the hashtag CNHSICT. Okay po, again, hashtag CNHSICT 2021. Again, hashtag CNHSICT 2021. So, ipopost po yan, and ipopost din po yan sa atin pong Google Classroom. Okay, so what makes a good design? You have to answer that. And what makes a good infographics? So, that ends our discussion. If you have questions regarding our topic for today, don't hesitate to ask me, ask your teacher, because I am more than willing to give you valuable answers for that. Again, this is Sir Brian Asibuche, your teacher for ICT 11 from Karuhata National High School. Enjoy the rest of the day. God bless everyone.